Hey everyone, my name is Mariana, and I am the host of the Commitment to Growth podcast, as well as the founder of the resilience life coaching platform Commitment to Growth. This is a personal growth oriented space dedicated to helping ambitious young adults who want to develop long lasting resilience in their personal, professional, and social lives. I coach on all things mindset development, reframing limiting thought patterns, habit building, vulnerability, and emotional freedom techniques, and more, all through evidence based practice and lots of raw and honest conversation. Thank you so much for being here, and let's dive right in. Welcome back to the Commitment to Growth podcast, everybody. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not new, welcome back. As always, such a pleasure to be here with you today. Thank you for choosing CTG as your daily dose of personal growth, motivation, inspiration for your personal discovery journey. I am so blessed to be here with you today. If you're here, it is probably because you are ready for the ride that I've got for you today, because man, was this conversation ever eye-opening, holy smokes, reflection evoking, and just so insightful. And the blessing that it was to do it with none other than my own godmother. Let me tell you about her. My godmother, Marta, has been in my life for about 16 years now. So what's really funny is that when my family and I first moved to Canada, the way that a lot of my parents made their immigrant friends, their immigrant Latino friends, was that I would hear kids speaking Spanish on the playground and would start talking to them, and then eventually bring them over to their parents, and then would get my parents and their parents talking. And Marta became my godmother that way as well. It was either that way, or I think she was at a friendly function with her kids who also spoke Spanish. And then again, same matchmaking happened. I brought the kids over. Mom and Marta started talking, and the rest is history. And now she's my godmom, and now she's here to speak with you about the incredible work that she does. So my godmother is a healer through the work of Teos. So this is you could call it like a branch of alternative medicine that focuses on how to alter your physical health, your physical reality, by healing your inner landscape first. So in this conversation, we dove deep into how our perspective on life, how our traumas, how our vast life experiences can contribute to the alteration of our frequency, of our mindset, of our vibration in a way that manifests itself as physical ailment. And we go all into how my godmom has learned to heal people in this way. This includes me. She has, from a distance, connected to me and helped me heal when I've been physically ill or been having like injuries even. She has given me all the insight on how to do so and what the actual root cause of the problem is. Everything from boosting certain foods that I eat to just the most recent one was she encouraged me to go out into our yard and to place my feet in the grass first thing in the morning, just to like enhance that connection to nature, but also to like take in all of like the sun energy that is already healing and is abundant among us. So such a cool conversation. And we dive into her recent thesis that she wrote about our relationship to death, none other, and how embracing the reality of death and what death really means as a way to heal and as a way to make the most of our present reality, and as a way to really be like more in tune with our spirituality when we understand what death really means for our vastness and our infiniteness. So, oh my gosh, it was such a good conversation. It was one of those moments where you think you know somebody because they've been like orbiting around your life for so long, and then they start speaking in a way that you've never heard them speak before, and you're like, my gosh, like I just unearthed like a whole new layer to this person and to my understanding of this person. So if you take nothing else away from this conversation today, just know that we often don't spend the time relearning who the people in our most inner orbits are or have become. And it's so important to take that time and to take that intentionality to, like, if it's like your partner, like dating them again, if you're already married, or like if you've been dating for a while, treating it like it's the first time you're going out with them. And same with your family, right? Like, your parents have been maybe within your inner world for a very, very long time and have been a consistent role in our life for many of us. But we forget about their individualism beyond their parenthood, and same goes for our siblings, same goes with some of our friends. And so take some time this week. I encourage you to just like go on a coffee date, go for a walk, find a time to meet with somebody that is really close to you and that maybe you've kind of fallen into like a very consistent routine with, and take the time to ask them things you've never asked them before, or introduce concepts into conversation that you've never explored together before, because this is really how we deepen our essence of somebody and deepen our connection to them at that. So I am super excited. And before we embark on this journey together with my godmom, I want to tell you about the newest offering that I have for the Commitment to Growth community. This is particularly for the women of this community. It is a new group, a new bi-monthly women's circle that I have just opened up. It is called Growth Hour. So this is a bi-monthly women's circle where you explore vast themes of resilience, personal transformation, and healing. I've heard from so many women who start on their journey of personal development that they struggle to find people who embrace this perspective and this approach to life, because so many women that start on this path end up being the cycle breakers in their families and their friend groups by putting the lens onto themselves and stopping to seek validation from the external world, as I think that we are really taught to do in our early 20s, our 30s, and whatever stage of life you're in, that there's always that influence around us, right? So if you are a cycle breaker, if you're somebody who is just wanting more community, if somebody that maybe doesn't have the financial or time resources to dedicate to a full coaching program, to a group coaching program, this group is designed to dismantle those barriers and provide a space that is not just accessible, but also affordable for women of all backgrounds to come together to explore these topics together. The sessions are 75 minutes in length, half of which are me kind of giving like a group coaching style format presentation and slides, and then intermixed in there for the rest of the time are group discussions, our self-led exercises that I guide you through to advance you on your journey of personal discovery. I am so excited about this group. We already have members that have joined. And because it is the first time that I'm launching it, to celebrate, I am offering your first month free. As you are listening to this before Black Friday, so that is November 24th of 2023, you can still go and sign up to get your first month free. So I will link the program webpage in the description of this episode so that you can go get first grabs, because we've got limited seating. You can give your first month a try. And if you join before the November 24th deadline, you also get 15% off the next time that you join the group. So I am super excited to offer this to you. Head to the program webpage for more information on what is included in your membership, what you can expect, also the detailed list and descriptions of the topics for the next 3 months that I am so excited about. The very first one that we are kicking off is called How Nervous is Your Nervous System? And it is an ode to the transition between December to the new year, because I know that it's very overwhelming. It can be really scary for many of us that have embarked on a journey towards New Year's gold before, with maybe a lot of pressure on ourselves, a lot of hope for success, and it has fallen apart before us. My goodness. And I know all too well the ripple effect that comes from seeing a goal that you're working towards just dismantle in front of you and not reap the results that you were hoping for. And I know the damage that can cause to your self-confidence, but over time, I have developed such consistent and successful habits that have helped me see consistent results over time. And I want to set you up for the exact same amount of return on your biggest aspirations. So this session is all about how to start healing our nervous systems, to start really seeing the areas in which we need to direct our energy and our time to start reaping those results and to start seeing growth where it needs to happen. So head over to the webpage that I have linked in the episode description so that you can go sign up and get your first month free. I am so excited to see you in there. And without further ado, here is the wonderful, stimulating, inspiring conversation with my godmother, Marta Ezeta.
Hi, Mariana. How are you?
I'm good. It's so nice to have you here.
No, thank you for inviting me. I feel really, really um, blessing to be here
Oh my
and enjoy
gosh.
this time with you. No, thank you.
Oh, the blessing is all mine because we have a really insightful conversation, which you pitched, actually. You suggested that we sit down to have this conversation, and I'm excited to learn from you and everything that you have to say. So I want the audience to know a little bit about you. So tell us about you, who you are, what you do, and why you do what you do.
Okay, well, my name is Martha.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the godmother of Mariana. I'm from Mexico, and since 2010, I'm started a journey as a healer. By a coincidence, to be honest, I never thought that I would be in this path in my life. It was because an aunt suggested me to start doing some stuff that she thought that I have the intuition and the and the gift to do. And I just started, to be honest, just to do it for myself, for my family when we moved to Canada. And people start asking me, and I start really enjoying it to to. It's not that I heal people, to be honest, because people heal by themselves, but have to be
Mm.
responsible from the people, their own health. And in this path, I just found out how much you can do when you heal other people for yourself too. And when you do something for your health and you heal
Mm-hmm.
yourself, you heal others. It's
Oh,
we are
wow.
all together. So it's so beautiful. So I started this journey in 2010 with a biomagnetic therapy. It's from Dr. Goyce. It's very, very famous in Mexico and Latin America and Spain. And now I'm doing this in my journey. I just try looking that our body is not only on balance point of pH, because magnets, that's what they do, balance the pH. And I start getting more in touch with other bodies that we have and about more perception and see things that and start feeling things that we all can do it, but it's when you really go inside you and stop and silence. So that's my journey, Mariana, and I love to
Oh my
share with
gosh.
that.
That's so I didn't know that it had been that long. It feels like I've always known that side of you, but then again, maybe that's as far as we've known each other. We met our families met in Canada as immigrants. Um how did your aunt know that you had a gift, or did you always sense that gift yourself?
To be honest, I always be in touch with always happen me things by intuition or perception. I don't say that I'm a medium or something like that, but I really have a good perception. And that's another really amazing thing that I found in my journey is everyone can develop all these abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you are in touch with yourself, the more you can feel and sense the other people's, and not only other people's, animals, plants, or things that could happen. So you can use all these things to make conscience around you, and that's the gift of everything. Because the
Mm-hmm.
more conscious you become, the more connect you are with everything and with yourself.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I have so much I want to ask about that.
Yes, that's
um where do I start? Um what do you define as being connected to yourself versus what people might think
okay.
that means?
That's a very important question because everyone talk about connection, about
Mm-hmm.
consciousness, and to be honest, I grew up with my dad always saying about the consciousness, and to
Mm-hmm.
me, really understand what it really means took so long
Mm.
because it's so different knowledge than wisdom, for example. The knowledge is
Oh.
something that
Mm-hmm.
someone or the outside put you in you. Wisdom is something that you have inside you. What happened inside us? Well, if I can talk about it a little bit more to explain, we
Yeah,
have two brains,
please.
two hemispheres in the brain, the left and the right. And we need both to work together. The thing is, the way our society is we put more emphasis in our left side of the brain, which is the logic, the math, the language, all the things that have to be with separation. That's why with the logical, or we start thinking them and I.
Mm-hmm.
You see? And so when we start thinking about them and I, we start making judges. We
Mm,
start putting stickers to say something
that's kind of
good
like,
and
yeah,
bad,
the
like it,
ego.
not
Yeah.
like it. So that's the way our left part of our brain works. The right side is about the intuition, the perception. And this part of the brain, it's more about union. It never
Mm,
see the other as another, see the other as part of me.
mm,
So it's
mm-hmm,
so different because in that part of the brain, it doesn't make the space for judgment,
mm-hmm,
for
mm-hmm,
analysis. It's more included.
mm-hmm,
So if you're really interested in that, I found a doctor she's from Harvard. She studied neuroscience, and she have an incident. Um, she has a stroke one morning, and when she wake up, she start notice that because she's a doctor, and she explained it in YouTube. She has a very nice video if you're interested to see it,
mm-hmm,
how the brains work, because her left side have the stroke.
mm-hmm.
So she starts perceiving and moving through the world in her apartment only with the right side of the brain.
Oh,
And
wow.
all the
Yeah.
experience that she shared with us are amazing. How we perceive the things without limitation between you and I, for example.
Mm-hmm,
So, and that's the part of the brain that we don't develop. In school, they just focus in the other side.
mm-hmm.
Society is the same thing. So that's why it's so difficult to us to start thinking about the other part. And we think it's just for medium or people who have abilities outside everyone. And it's not a true. Everyone can do it. But you have to develop the inside, the silence in you. And that's another part that is really important to
Oh,
talk about.
wow.
It is
Yeah.
the be by yourself. Everyone is scared to be alone. If you see a kid alone, you think it's something wrong, and it's
Mm-hmm,
not true. It's really
mm-hmm,
important. Be by yourself, know yourself, feel good with you,
mm-hmm.
and it's when the wisdom start coming.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's
Why
more easy.
why do you think that people are afraid to be by themselves? And do you think that because we're afraid to be alone, that's why we don't develop that part of
It's
the brain?
cultural. It's cultural. It's because we always
Mm-hmm.
focus in the outside. Everyone is
Mm-hmm.
listening music, watching videos. Now with the social media, everyone's on their phones, but
Mm-hmm.
everything is putting all the attention in the outside, never in the inside.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask people how they feel, most of the people don't know how they feel. It's incredible, but
Oh
they
my
not even
gosh.
know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's one thing to say, um, like the way that I was taught, or at least after getting into more spirituality and more self-help stuff, everybody's like, well, there's a difference between everybody says I am anxious, I am mad, I am sad, but you separate yourself from the feeling by saying, no, I feel sad, I
Mm-hmm.
feel anger. But when you create that separation, there's a lonely like middle ground where you realize that you're not your emotions almost. And so I almost think that we don't know how to define ourselves in absence of saying I am sad,
Yeah.
I am something. And I think that makes the journey inwards very scary, because when you realize that you are not your work, your hobbies, your feelings, that is true spirituality.
Yeah.
is like realizing that you are like is answering that question actually, like who are you, what are you, you know.
Exactly. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the gift. That's the gift about everything when you become in this journey, when you start this journey is the more insight you get in, it's the more you start it's like a line that you start making because it's you never stop learning about yourself. That's the amazing thing.
Mm.
But at the same time you start finding more peace in everything that happen around you, and it's when you start notice the real you who
Mm-hmm.
um, act in front of something, no react. When something
Mm-hmm.
happen,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I don't know, you get an accident or something happen to your family, and or it's something put you in a situation that you can feel really afraid, and so you can getting mad. When you really are connected with yourself, you can see the difference between a reaction and an action. An action is an attitude, what attitude you're going to take in front of the
Mm.
things. A difference at reaction that you just go by impulse, and you're not even,
Mm. Oh,
it's not
interesting.
only thinking, it's also feeling if you are really that action, if you
Oh,
really
oh my
feel,
gosh.
if your really self feel good, what are you thinking. It's
Mm.
very subtle, it goes so fast. So that's why it's a practice to be inside you, because the more congruency are between what you think, what you feel, and what you act,
Mm.
the magic is when it start coming in your life, because everything is coming the way you pull the energy out.
Oh my gosh, I love that
Okay,
a
so
lot.
I
Yeah.
know it's
Yeah.
it sounds very complicated, but it at the same time is so simple. It's so simple.
Truly. Yeah. It's
It's
like be,
congruency
yeah.
and order. It's just that.
True. But I think it gets messy because we are not messy, but it can, when we live in a universe that is programmed for disorder, right? Like the law
Mm-hmm.
of entropy, it almost like goes outside of our true nature to, well, not even our true nature, because I do think our true nature is
Inside.
congruency,
Mm-hmm.
but um perhaps it's that nature versus nurture idea where we aren't taught how to live and act in congruency. We are so, our thoughts are so entropic, our thoughts are so messy and everywhere, that cultivating that congruency becomes very hard because we don't separate ourselves from our thoughts. So we almost like attach ourselves to that disorder.
But that's why we have our body. Our
Mm-hmm.
body is
Oh, I love that answer.
our
Yeah.
best friend in this journey, because everything we feel it in our bodies. Our bodies never
Mm-hmm.
lie to us. If we say
Mm-hmm.
something that is not true or is not really who we are, we will feel it. We
That's,
really
yep.
feel it. The thing
Yeah.
is, there are people that doesn't want to see it or doesn't want to feel it, and
Yeah.
they'll deny it. And but they cannot deny, they can feel it when it's something
Oh
wrong.
my gosh.
And
Yeah.
that's the I love the how they say here, like feeling your guts, and it's true. It's
Mm-hmm.
really true, and we feel in the stomach, we feel in the guts, we feeling everywhere when it's
Yeah.
something wrong, when it's something that is not alienated with who we really we are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the illness is when it started too,
Yeah.
when we are not doing things or follow things that are really connected and alienated who really we are.
Yeah.
And that's the
Absolutely.
amazing thing about the healing, because everyone are their own healers.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Hmm.
So in line with all of that juicy stuff, tell us what personally got you into the study of Teos, which is the kind of healing that you're practicing now, and what led you to exploring this way of healing in particular.
Okay, well, how I told you, when I was doing the magnets, I just found like we are not only the pH neutral, like
Mm-hmm.
pH in our body, and we have other bodies like the mental body, the emotional body, and there's so many bodies. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but the thing is, even with my patients, when I start looking, like, people like to talk when they really want to heal, and they really
Mm-hmm.
start making questions, and
Yeah.
they really wants the one who guide me to start looking for another, for another kinds of helping. And it was also part of my, um, the things that my aunt told me.
Mm-hmm.
When I started, I remember that she told me about 3 books that I have to have. And one it was Healing Hands. And I will give you the author of this book later. She's
Mm-hmm.
an American. She studied, ¿cómo se llama?
Climate studies,
Like meteorology,
meteorology.
yeah.
There
And
we
she
go.
finished working in NASA. It's very interesting because she was looking all the campus magnets of the Earth, and after that she started looking like, oh, it's the same in humans. So she
Oh
started her
wow.
journey of healing
Mm-hmm.
about that, and she healed with the hands. And that book gave me a lot of light, and I really wanted to contact this lady. And
Mm-hmm.
but it was when I found this person in Mexico who do almost same thing, but it's different.
Okay.
She healed with the hand, same thing. But what I feel so attractive with Teos is Teos, um, helped not only to heal the body, it helps to, um, drive you in some way, give you the direction, so the patient can get more and more conscious about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
that's the thing that I really love it, because the more conscious you are, the more connected are you yourself, the more you know yourself, the less illness you have, and the
Mm-hmm.
more happy you become, and the more you can give to the society, to your
Mm-hmm.
community,
Mm-hmm.
and more happiness come to you. So, and more, and people want to see you, people want the same thing as you have, that happiness, that peaceful. So you start making that contagious,
Contagious. Yeah, you
contagious
got it. Yeah.
to the other people, but no illness, no virus, no bacteria. So
The good
good
kind of
energy, good
contagious.
things.
Yeah,
So that's why
absolutely.
I love this
Oh,
therapy.
good. Okay. So it's maybe we can elaborate more on what Theos is a practice. So it's would you say it's a medicine that helps you understand yourself to then
Through the
heal?
no through the illness, like,
Oh,
our
wow.
our
Okay.
illness is the body talking, is your soul,
Yeah. Okay.
in
Mhm.
is the soul, is like you're not paying attention with something.
Mhm.
So the body start like doing more stuff, and more, no, you don't pay attention, more and more. So everything behind our symptoms is something always related with the
Okay.
way we live, the way we process our thoughts, our feelings, the way we approach life. And
Mhm.
it's not only because us, it's how your mom teach you. That's why I found it, and not only me, many people who are healers found it, like when doctor says that is because your mom have this illness, more likely you will have it. And it's because we think the same way as our parents. We eat the
Oh,
same
wow.
way. We
Yeah.
do many things the same way.
Mhm.
It's amazing when you know someone when they're little, and after you saw them like after many years, and you see them like, oh my god, you speak exactly the same as your mom. And you don't like it when people say that, but
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
we absorb everything from our ancestors. So the
Mhm.
way they process life, the way they say things or don't say things, it's the same
Mhm.
way as you do it.
Interesting.
And that's the way you think too.
Yeah.
So it's a jump into the ocean of your ancestors, your life, your history,
Mhm.
why you think this is good and this is bad. Is to start rethinking and re-question everything in your life. So you
Mm.
become more you.
Oh my god.
So it's
I
it's just a
love that.
journey. Yeah.
It's a no, absolutely.
And just become because you were sick.
Which is so it's so interesting that it takes getting sick to to see that, right? Because so many of us are carrying things that we don't even know we're carrying that aren't ours to carry, I always say. Um, could you give us an example? Like, I know that you had some training in, like, we don't have to go through every system in the body, but like you studied the lymphatic system and the digestive system.
Well,
Like,
everything is connected. Well, this therapy works around the chakras. Like there are eight uh, sewing. We call it sewing because it's not the same as Reiki, but
okay,
is we move the energy. But we said we're sewing the energy. We are connected with so many souls about everything. Not only
okay,
our system, everything. So when is something wrong, for example, in our stomach, for to say something, or in the pancreas, that is our third chakra. It's this sewing start to. It's not like broken, but it's like holes. So
okay.
you start with this touch. You start sewing the stuff, and at the time you will start sewing the stuff because you were also working with the unconscious, and that's the part that I said that perception is super important. Um, beside with the wisdom, and it's because at the time as a healer you start becoming more perception, more intuition. Like I need to say, like, for example, when I'm with my patients, I start feeling in my body things in their body, so I can start asking them.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
and sometimes they're not even things that have they're having in that moment. Maybe they fall 1 year ago and I have that pain in my knee.
Hmm.
So but it's not because the knee is bad in that moment. It's because why you fall in that part, why your knee was hurt, have
Hmm.
a meaning. Is so
Oh,
it's like you start
whoa.
disblocking
Yeah.
things that you have in your past also that you still carry on.
Interesting.
So it's really
Okay.
interesting, to be honest. It's and everything is about question themselves
Hmm.
all
Asking the
the
right
time.
questions. And
Yes.
what would you say is the, like, with the patients that you've worked with, some of like the most common, not physical pain that you feel, but like pain that people are carrying, like people, things that people
Most of
don't
the
let
people
go
have
of.
anxiety. It's a
Hmm.
lot of you. It's a lot of pressure in the in the chest. A lot
Hmm.
of pressure, and
Anxiety
yeah,
towards
yeah.
something in particular, or just.
Most of the people carry, like, I can, if I can tell you, if from 10, 8 have anxiety,
Wow. Yeah.
and they not even feel that they have anxiety because they used to live with.
Hmm.
So it's part of how they feel
They're
every
used to
day.
living with it. Yeah. Okay.
So it's that's the thing. So start to make conscience about it.
Hmm.
So when you start asking, most of the time they say, "No, I'm not anxiety. No, I'm fine. No," but you start letting think. But it's when start more things start popping out. For example, well, I will talk about this patient. This patient is in Colombia. She's
Hmm.
from Colombia, and she will start having problems with the ovarios and the
Hmm.
uter. And what's the name of it? I forgot the name. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Is it an organ
No,
or
no, 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 no. It's myomas. What's the name in
myomas?
English?
Melanoma?
No, no, no. It's not
No.
melanoma. It's very common that many women have these
Oh,
tissues
cysts?
inside
Oh,
the
cysts.
outsets. Yes,
Gotcha. There we
yes,
go.
yeah. Sorry
Two
about
brains.
that. No, no, I know. Sorry about that. I don't know all the names
Two
in
Spanish
English.
speakers. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So the thing is, I just start feeling that sensation in my body, but she never tell me about it. And after that she said, well, you know why, I think it was normal, all the bleeding that I had, because I just started becoming menopause, and that's, I thought that bleeding is because of that, but she didn't not even take actions about it. And when
Mm,
we start digging and digging more and more and more, it was more the way she lives her sexuality all through her life. And it was
Mm,
amazing. The more we start talking, it was non-one therapy, and the more she start opening about talking, the more she starts seeing clear, these symptoms go away. And
mm,
it was very interesting because it wasn't during that time that she went to the doctor, and they they found that she had that issues inside her, and
mm-hmm.
she
Those
was ready
cysts, yeah.
for procedure with a doctor. And as soon as she starts seeing the things, this one's like she don't need the surgery, she didn't need it, they goes
Wow.
away. So it takes
Wow.
time, but it's part of the make conscious and really responsible. That's another
Mm,
magic word about healing. You have to be responsible about everything in your life. Everything.
mm-hmm.
Everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Why? Oh my gosh, that is so,
Yeah. So
so
the
many
way
questions.
I know, but at the
Yeah.
in this situation, that when she becoming responsible about the way she lived her sexuality,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it was when that she should start to disappear.
Wow.
And
Wow.
it was really really, it was not a major thing in her life, and it was but it was something that I could prove, and it was amazing to me and for the patient too,
Totally.
and to the doctor too. Like she was like, what are you doing? Like what would you keep doing what you're doing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. It's her body trying to tell her that she is out of alignment with her truth and how she should be living, how she actually probably wants to live but is too afraid
Yeah.
to live.
Yeah.
Interesting. Why do you think that people are afraid to take that responsibility?
We don't used to it. We are, because
Yes.
it's part of, even for the brain, it's more easy to judge someone else or to judge life
Mm-hmm.
and don't see actually what is our part. And the amazing thing, and this is the key, the more responsible you become, the more freedom you get.
Oh my god. Can you
The
say
more
that again?
freedom. Yeah, the more responsible you get about everything in your life, the more freedom you get.
Oh my god, that hit me so hard. Yeah. No, absolutely. I think one of the cruxes of reaching, like, doing this work, but also for me, like being in my 20s, is what mainstream society calls now, like, you learning to parent yourself, right? Is
Mm-hmm.
like you giving yourself what you weren't given as a child, or what you needed but didn't know how to communicate, and now you're trying to figure out, like, having that relationship with your inner child,
Mm-hmm.
almost to heal up that part of yourself. Have you seen a lot that that part of people, like their inner child, is not responsible for, but like is trying to communicate
Mm-hmm.
to people, like through their health,
Oh yeah,
almost?
it's always, no, it's always, and
Oh
this
my
journey that you
gosh.
just started, Mariana, is for all your life.
Oh,
It's
amazing.
forever. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why my only advance for you will be the faster you get responsible, the more
Yeah,
peaceful you will live. You will find
absolutely.
that it's how I said, when you are inside you and you said, okay, this part is mine, that part is yours. But anyways, I still have my part
Mm-hmm.
in any relation, and not only with humans, it's relation in your work, is how you are, even eating. Let's talk about food. We are
Let's
what we
talk about food.
eat.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
that's it's everything. How we um, process our feelings. That's another thing. If you don't like to get mad, why you don't make peace with mad? It's okay to be mad. It's something that
Mm,
help you.
totally.
Math helped you to put limits. But
Yeah.
after that, you don't need the math. Let it go. Just use it for what it is
Hmm.
need.
Totally. I think that comes back to um, the responsibility piece leading us to more freedom, right? Because as soon as we associate ourselves with the, like, when we say, I am angry, I am the anger, is when you've lost your freedom, is because if you don't have the responsibility to release it, which I think a lot of us don't know how, is when we lose the freedom, because then that the energy of anger stays stored within us and then comes up in what probably you see
Oh yeah,
in your work.
yeah, yeah. No, for sure. No, for sure, for
Mm-hmm.
sure. But yeah, how I told you, first thing is Be responsible. That's the other thing that is really important when you go inside yourself. Like in, for example, in Teos, our one of our major, how you call it, columna vertebra,
Our spinal column. Yeah.
yes, in Teos is go back to us. And we always say, I'm going back to me. Going back to me is, it's a kind of meditation, but it's in just a second. It's just breathe and feel myself, starting feeling my body. Our, how I told you before, our body is our first friend in this journey.
Mm-hmm.
And after it's like, okay, I'm angry. How I feel the anger in my body? It's in here. Why I am angry?
Mm-hmm.
And just see it. If it's someone else to make me mad, what it will be my action about this, my attitude about this,
Mm-hmm.
not my reaction, my attitude. I can have the attitude to be compassion, or I can have the attitude just go away, put a distance,
Mm-hmm.
just take care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
What I need to do,
Yeah.
do it.
Totally. Oh, I love that. It's like I said, I think it's the balance of understanding like what how long you should hold on to something before you release it, right? Because I think that there is a lot of power in feeling those emotions, but it's when they start to impact us that sometimes it's too late,
Mhm.
arguably, to notice like the effects that they've had because they've been there too long. So yeah, it's a balance of letting yourself feel, but also not associating with that emotion,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, if you can imagine, like, we always think, oh, how emotions can really do something to our body, but emotions go a trap in the organs or in other parts of our body. So
Mm-hmm.
imagine you have squeezed your hand,
Mm-hmm.
squeeze your hand for 1 hour, for 1 day,
Oh
and
my
try
god.
to open it after that. It's the same thing. Inside out, it's just taken
Oh,
like that. So
it's a great
that's why
analogy.
it make
Yeah.
so much damage sometimes. And
Mm-hmm.
it's about just energy, because what happened, energy is always flowing,
Mm-hmm.
flowing. Imagine it's like a river, all the time have to flow. In the moment that we start making that contractions, what happened? It doesn't flow, so it's just dying.
So energy
It's
gets
dead.
trapped.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important, the sewing.
Mm-hmm.
We say sewing, but it's let's start moving the energy and making what it was, that contraction, just sewing and relief.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So you just wrote a wonderful thesis for your class on death, none other. Very interesting topic. W- Tell us about your thesis on death. Like, why do you think so many people fear death?
Well, first of all, I choose this subject because to me, always being dead, um, it's going to sound for our culture kind of crazy, but for me, that is something magical. It's
Mm-hmm.
something that opens doors to the real us. And
Mm-hmm.
most of the people are afraid because, well, how I say explain about the brain, if we always put our attention in the outside,
Mm-hmm.
we define ourselves with the outside, who we are,
Mm-hmm.
what we do, our names, our gender, many things that
Mm-hmm.
just outside. And the real things is in the inside. Actually, I love one thing that Edgar Toller said, that is always like, when we are looking the outside, we are sleeping, we are dreaming. And when we
Mm-hmm.
really
Yeah.
see our inside is when we are really awake.
Yeah.
And
Yo,
I
yeah.
love this
Oh
because it
wow.
really describes how it is. And actually, this amazing person, Toller, I love the way he explained things about being the present, and it's part of the thing to be inside you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but another thing that he said about that is really important is, um, he said that society who deny that, deny themselves, and they
Society
really
denies death, denies themselves.
stop the connection with that door who give you to the inside. where the magic really is. The really who we are, it's inside.
Mm, mm-hmm.
And it, it's amazing how now even science start getting to the same, say the same thing as all the traditional religions said in the past. Everyone starts saying the same thing, no? Like
Mm-hmm.
now, the theory of Einstein, no? So that everything is energy and you cannot
Mm-hmm.
destroy energy,
Right.
no?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing, and everything is a movement. And the other thing that it's amazing about this jury is about the we are the opposites all the time. We are
Mm-hmm.
the inside and the outside. We are the light and the darkness. And
Mm,
it's all this thing about physics quantics.
mm-hmm.
We are the particular and we are the waves.
The waves. Yeah.
We are both.
Mm-hmm.
We are just stay and we move at the
Mm-hmm.
same time. And that's the way our universe work
Mm-hmm.
about the opposites.
Mm-hmm.
Opposites are not opposites at the end. So life and death, they're opposites or
No.
they're the same thing
Oh,
at the end.
wow. That's something to think about. Yeah.
So, and the more you talk with people who are approaching that, the more they start giving peace inside them and really have the acceptance of the moment. They become so wisdom, and they
Mm-hmm.
don't talk about that. They talk about life
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and touch everyone. And it's also when the people start getting um, approaching to that, not only themselves, the people around who love them, everyone start getting more sensitive and start let them themselves to be
Mm-hmm.
more who they are and start looking
Mm-hmm.
more the inside,
Mm-hmm.
and they start talking things that they never talk.
Yeah.
So it's a magic moment. It's a
Absolutely.
gift.
Yeah.
So that's why I start.
You picked that topic.
Yeah.
I love that as a reason for picking the topic, and I found interesting that you at the beginning you said that you were going to say something crazy for our culture because I know um, where you and I were born in Mexico, like death is something very is contextualized very differently than in Canada. Like we have the Day of the Dead. In our case, that's
Yeah.
coming up. Like we celebrate. We put a lot of emphasis on how our ancestors are spending their time in the afterlife, and we send them gifts, and we pray. Like that culture around death is a lot more present. Death is like a force in our culture, almost
Mm-hmm.
like an entity, versus in, well, I'll say northern Western culture in Canada where we are. There's a lot more grief and loss around death, and I think that creates such a different experience around death where there's still sadness, of
Mm-hmm.
course, in both countries, in both our countries, but it's almost like in Mexico there's more celebration around it, and it sounds like, if we treated it more that way, we would feel a lot more liberation because it's not death is not the end. It's a door.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for sure, for sure. And well, in Mexico also, like we have the Day of the Dead, but how many people in Mexico are conscious about it? We still
Mm-hmm.
having same
No, yeah,
suffering as a Western
totally,
culture, and
totally.
the reality is it's because we are not in touch with ourselves. So the really part of ourself
Mm-hmm.
that it's they cannot be destroyed.
Oh,
That's
I
why I
love
always said
that.
go inside, inside, because that's the real you that is always to be and always been.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, yes, they're going to that gender, that physical, that voice, yes, it's going to die. It's going, but that's not the part that it's
Mm-hmm.
really you,
Mm-hmm.
define you. So when you're really in touch with the part that is really you, you know that you are nothing can destroy you, and
Yeah.
you go through everything and you can touch many things. And the thing that I love about the process of dying is the energy that people
Mm,
open through, because it's something that it's not related with our mother culture from the outside
mm-hmm.
really confront us. We cannot run away. It's something that we know is going to happen to
It's a
everyone.
constant. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
And it doesn't matter who you are, what you have.
Yeah.
How you, if you're a doctor, if you're an engineer, if, it doesn't matter who you are
Yeah.
or the way you live, you're going to die. But
Mm,
it's
mm-hmm.
who's going to
Yeah.
die? It's just
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
actor
Yeah.
in this moment.
Yeah.
But the real you, never.
No. I think that's such a beautiful testament to like the quote that I've been hearing a lot is you are a soul having a human experience.
Experience.
I feel
Exactly.
like death is the crux of that because death is a uniquely like what you said it's nature. It's a uniquely human experience. It's that the human vessel that we are occupying dies, and so when we come face to face with the death, the friction that we're actually feeling and the fear that we're feeling towards it is not it's that human self fearing it.
Yeah,
It's not our actual self feeling it.
exactly.
That's
Exactly.
so interesting.
Yeah, and
Uh-huh.
also with this therapy, well, I have the experience. That's why also I choose this subject is because with Teos we help a lot of people to alienate the soul
Mm,
when it's time to go, and also because of the perception, if there are people who has like lost consciousness in the last days or the last months, we can still connect them with with that person
mm,
because it's the same as that doesn't exist. Time doesn't exist.
mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
we still connected and we're still having message and ways like I have the fortune to treat people before die and also helping the grief of the family. And
mm-hmm,
I have very touching experience about how the people who passed said to the loved ones, and
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
even things that how I will know, you know what I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
and it's more it's more when you are in a grief to someone to loss and someone connect you, you know that it's not that it
Yeah.
doesn't have a body but still with us, you know what I'm saying. So
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so
it's
beautiful.
very very beautiful that part too, to have
Totally.
that.
How do you think that we as a society can and as human beings can become more comfortable with the idea of death to help us right now?
Same thing, it's just going inside you.
Mm-hmm.
Start not see
Yeah.
outside or what is who define you, what define you. You
Mm-hmm.
make that question to you really define you, what you're doing, your work, or where you went to school or the university or your
Mm-hmm.
family or your ancestors. Or I don't deny that is part of us, but who really you are, or what's the card that you're playing with this
Mm-hmm.
game, no, it's life, no,
Mm-hmm.
with this personality that you choose.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So in becoming more comfortable with in going inside, you dissolve the part of you that is not dissolve the part of you that is human because you can't do that, but you dissolve your attachment to the human
You
experience.
make peace, if I
You
can say,
make
you
peace
make
with,
peace.
oh my
You
gosh, I
make
love
peace
that.
with, yeah, you make peace, and not only make peace, you know what you want and how get it and why you're here.
Oh, I love
And
that.
it's
Yeah.
it's like your purpose in life. Like who really
Mm,
know what is the purpose in life?
unless we go inside. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a hot topic, right? Is like so many people are like, well, how can I find my purpose? Like people think that actually here's a good question. How would you tell somebody what would you tell somebody who asked you that they couldn't find their purpose? Because a lot of people think that it's like a job or like a position that they hold
Hmm.
as a mother or a father, and I think my view is that we don't have one purpose, we serve many. But some people who still don't associate with people who don't have that attachment to something as their purpose, what would you tell them?
Well, you said something that is really important. Like a purpose in life is not like a career or a job or if you want to become parents or married, there's many things. Your really purpose in life, it's, for example, if you really feel like you are very kind, what you can do with
Mm-hmm.
kindness, how
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
make your world and the world of your loved ones better through kindness.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's when you start
Yeah.
doing that, it's when
Yeah.
it start things. The universe is amazing when you start asking but taking action. How I said, for example, with this thing, the universe start putting success persons that help you
Mm-hmm.
to find the path.
Yeah.
It's just like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
You need
Totally.
to really trust.
Mm-hmm.
Trust that it's really hard, but we need to trust that we are not alone, and we always guide. And it's true, we always guide, but we need to ask also for
Mm-hmm.
the guidance.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
always forgot. It's like the same as say thank you. We need to ask for guide.
We need to
If we
ask for
don't ask,
guidance.
they not give us
We
the guide.
don't. We yeah, no. I think there's a lot of I think that's also like the human experience clashing, like butting heads with the spiritual is like you don't ask for help because that's ego, right? Ego says I don't ask for help, but that ego I see as something more as the human experience rather
Mm-hmm.
than the
Mm-hmm.
spiritual.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think you need to always go to the simple.
the
The
simple
simple is the key.
is a key. Oh, I love that. Do you have anything else that you want to tell the audience aside from all the wisdom you already shared with us? Is there anything else you'd like the audience to know?
Well, first of all, that don't be afraid of be by yourself. Like
Mm-hmm.
being silent and by yourself is the major gift you can do to yourself and give to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Be by yourself, and also it's not only to yourself, because when you give to yourself, you can give to others. And always
Mm-hmm.
remember that it's not only give. If you don't receive, you cannot give.
Mm-hmm.
So it's both ways.
Oh
So
my
both
gosh.
things.
It's a reminder I needed to hear today for sure. All right. The tradition on the Commitment to Growth podcast is that every guest at the end gets 3 quick fire questions. I know she's like super surprised right now. I didn't tell her this.
No.
So the first 2 questions are the same for each guest, but the last
Okay.
one is unique to you.
Okay.
Okay? So you have to answer like with the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
You ready?
Okay.
Yeah.
The first thing that comes to my mind.
The first thing that comes to your mind. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So the first question is, what is your favorite quote?
Good.
Mm-hmm. No quote. Dicho or like
Oh,
Dicho.
okay.
She
Sorry,
said like
I
coat, like that you wear coat. Sorry.
Like,
No, not the quote, not the quotes you wear, the quotes you read or listen to. Yeah.
I go back to me.
Oh, I love that. Perfect. We all needed to hear that. Okay. What song is currently stuck in your head?
Dust in the wind.
Dust in the Wind. Oh my goodness. Everybody's going to go listen to that song right after this. Okay. And the third question is, and this one is like unique to you based on your
Okay.
episode. If somebody stopped you on the street and asked you what love was, based on your definition of love, it was in relation to like spirituality, what would you tell them?
The most powerful energy in the universe.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love that. Thank you for being here. This
Oh,
was
thank you,
amazing.
Maria.
I got to sit with my godmom for an hour. Can people find you anywhere? Do you have a website? Nope. That's okay. That's okay.
That's my phone number.
I will.
I need to do my Instagram. I'm terrible with computers.
That's okay.
I need to change that. I know that I don't need to say that, but yeah.
That's okay. As soon as she has a website, I will link it to the show notes, and everybody will be the first to know because I want everybody to know about you and what you're doing. So
thank you, Mariana.
Thank you for being here.
No,
this was so lovely.
Time. I love it.
I'm
thank
excited.
You.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, everyone.
Yay. that is another episode of the Commitment to Growth podcast for you. Once again, everybody, thank you for tuning in. You are so appreciated here. Your time, your effort, your energy is so heartfelt in this space. If you enjoyed that episode, don't forget to like and subscribe. Send it to a friend who might find it helpful, because let's be real, who wouldn't benefit from a conversation on healing from the inside out? If you like this episode as well and want to be updated on the most recent ones that drop, head over to Instagram. It's at Commitment to Growth. You can also find it listed in the show description. Follow me, let's connect, and you can also be in tune with the latest episode drops and other initiatives that are going on in the Commitment to Growth community. Check out the website. It is www.commitmentogrowth.com. Check out the coaching programs that I've got listed there. I'm about to roll out some really exciting New Year's offers on evolution for you. If you didn't get the chance to sign up last time to that one-on-one coaching program, it's my signature coaching program. I absolutely love it. And ahead of the new year, for those of us that are looking for vast, transformative, and amazing lifelong change, I am offering this program at a discounted rate. So make sure that you are ready for when that discount drops, because the seats will be limited as well. And I'm also on TikTok. It's at Commitment to Growth as well. And I will let you know as soon as Marta has a website up, because as we heard, she does not yet. But if any of you are interested in having a reading done by her, or a long distance check-in done by her, I'm very happy to send you her contact information. So just message me on Instagram or shoot me an email. It's mariana@commitmenttogrowth.com, and I'm very happy to connect you both in that way. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed having you here for this episode, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.